Hello everyone, welcome to the Q&A. Let's get started. I've got all of them on my little computer, so I'm just gonna be reading. If you see me look down, that's why. Okay, just a little get to know you moment. The first question is favorite thing you've learned / done / experienced so far in grad school. So why not answer all those things? Well, let's start with my favorite thing I've experienced. I really enjoyed my internship this past year at DFACS. I learned so much at that. I interned in the Child Protective Services unit, which was really heavy, but also I learned so much. Earlier this week I was reflecting because 2 months between me graduating from college and my starting my AmeriCorps, I interviewed at this place where they do home visits and like case management, and it was a social work position. And I remember being asked the question, like, what would you do if like someone attacked you at a home visit, and being so taken aback and shocked by that question and just being like, I literally have no idea. And now I'm like, I know exactly what to do. So that was a cool moment of just growth, I guess. But yeah, DFACS. And I've also just enjoyed experiencing I feel like I've gotten to go on a lot of trips this year, despite being in grad school and like working all the time. So like I went to Nashville recently to run the half marathon, and Cami and Jane Ann met my college friends, which was really cool. And then went to Atlanta to run that half marathon, went to Asheville over spring break, went to Phoenix for Thanksgiving. Just a lot of trips I've gotten to do. It's just cool being able to still like do the things that I like to do in addition to like grad school. My favorite thing I've learned in grad school so far isn't necessarily like a school concept, it's just like a life concept. And it was in my ethics for marriage and family therapy class, and our professor is like probably in her 50s or 60s, I think in her 50s, and she's engaged. And someone in class asked her, like, when are you getting married? And she responded and said, I don't know, why rush it? I'm young. And for me, that changed a lot of my perspective around the idea of marriage, because I feel like a lot of today's society and culture is like marry young, like settle down young, and like I love that so much, but for me, like that is never really something that I've wanted. And so, but like constantly seeing it on social media, I'm just like, hello, like, huh? So for her to be like, why rush it in her 50s, I'm like, I have so much time. And it just made me feel very settled and validated, and not wanting to get married very super soon or very young. So yeah, so that's that question. Next question, are you still doing tri? No, I'm not. The last triathlon I did was Ironman Memphis in 2021 with Jules, and that was when I fundraised for St. Jude and did all that stuff, which was really great. But after that race, I was just completely done with like triathlon and then running in general. And I just started running again, like literally probably last summer. Not doing triathlon, but I am enjoying training for half marathons. I feel like half marathons are the perfect distance for just where I'm at in life right now. With triathlon, if I do pick it up again, it will be when I'm done with grad school. But my mom is training for Ironman Maryland in September, so I'll probably go to that. And who knows, I'll probably, after I watch that, I'll probably be like, yep, I'm doing triathlon again. But no, I'm enjoying running a lot right now. So yeah. Next question. What single thing is on the top of your bucket list? The single thing on the top of my bucket list is to travel to all 50 states. I've been to 36 so far, so I have 14 to go. I used to like want to go to all 50 states before I like went out of the country, but now I'm just kind of like, whatever happens. But yeah, I've been to all the states on the East Coast. Actually, funny story, when I was about to graduate college, I had been to all the states on the East Coast except for Connecticut and Rhode Island. And 3 days before graduation, me and my ex flew to Connecticut for the day, rented a car, drove to Rhode Island, and then flew back. And so this was literally May 5th. I graduated May 8th, and I did that just so I could say I traveled to all the states on the East Coast before I graduated college. That was really cool. So yeah, now all the states I need to go to are like in the West, like Washington, Oregon, Nebraska, and Montana, like all of those states. And I use this app called Ben to track the states I've been to. But I just like looking at it sometimes and being like, I'm so close, only 14 more. I'm sitting here editing this vlog right now, and I have been to 34 states, not 36. So I don't have 14 more, I have 16 more, but same concept. Still want to go to all 50 states. What made you choose to do AmeriCorps? I'll just explain what AmeriCorps is really fast. Basically, if you've heard of Peace Corps, AmeriCorps is like the domesticated version of Peace Corps. And there's programs all over the country, and their focus is on food insecurity and education. And so you have people who are basically placed in these organizations trying to fill gaps in education and deficiencies in food insecurity. In High Point, I was placed at the city of High Point, and I kind of had a hand in a couple different nonprofits, which was really cool, in the work that they were doing to fight food insecurity. Short answer, the reason I chose to do AmeriCorps is because that was really my only option coming out of college. Around April of my senior year of college, like I hadn't applied to jobs, I had only applied for grad school, and I got waitlisted at UGA. I was in this program in undergrad called the Bonner Leader Program, and basically it was like through the Office of Service Learning, and our like director of the Bonner program was also over the AmeriCorps Vista program, and so he like suggested it, and I was like, I have nothing else, like why not? Honestly, like my doing that just was the next thing to do. But then it was funny because like 2 weeks before AmeriCorps started, I ended up getting an email from Georgia saying that I had gotten accepted into the MSW program. And the reason I got waitlisted is because I forgot to turn in one form. Basically, like once I turned that form in, they called me and they were like, we filled up the program for this year, but like if any spots open up, like we'll call you. And that was in like March. And I was like, I'm not gonna wait around. And then in July, they emailed me and they said like, a spot opened up, do you want it? And I said, honestly, I already committed to doing a year of AmeriCorps, and not only do I want to like keep my word and do that, but I also think that doing a year of AmeriCorps will make me a more viable candidate in this program. And they were like, yeah, no problem, and like that worked out well. So yeah, I basically knew I was coming to Georgia like when AmeriCorps started, which was really nice. It gave me something to look forward to afterwards, which was cool. But yeah, AmeriCorps, great experience. I did grow a lot professionally. I said in the last video, it was a really hard year. In the middle of my AmeriCorps term, I started working at Buffalo Wild Wings, and that was a mess because I was working, like I worked basically from January to July. I worked Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Buffalo Wild Wings closes at midnight on the weekdays and 1 a.m. on the weekends. So I would get off work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5, and then go to work at 5:30 and be there until they would close at 12 a.m. And I always was a closer because I got there so late. And I wouldn't get home or in bed until 1 or 1:30, and then I'd wake up, do 9 to 5 again. And it was just so exhausting. And when I tell you I was grumpy and sad and depressed, I was like not a good version of myself during that time. But yeah, AmeriCorps, such a good experience. Professionally, I grew a lot, and then personally, I lived with my best friend Gabby, and we got super close during that time. Obviously, it was just us two in the house. And one thing I loved about living with Gabby is that we were very selective about the people we let into our house, which honestly helped me out a lot because I've like struggled with like friendships and not knowing how to like, you know, I guess if someone's treating me poorly, like sometimes I'll feel like obligated to like still be their friend, but like having someone with like the same values as me who was like, hey, this isn't okay, and like we're allowed to be selective about who we hang out with, was super nice. And it's like helped me, like since I've moved down here, be like, okay, like I'm very select with like the people I hang out with, just because like you want to hang out with people who make you feel good. And yeah, we just had Gabby and I had a great year living together. It was so much fun. And then Jules was always over at our house. It was basically the three of us, like the whole year. We always like were screaming or like dancing. Like it was just like the best year. Like it was hard, but it was really nice. So yeah, long answer to what made me do AmeriCorps. That's AmeriCorps. But yeah, and it's cool because like I said in the last video, I'm doing another term of AmeriCorps, and it's like the same, I'm still working, I'm doing food insecurity stuff, but I'm doing like a little bit different stuff, but a lot of it is the same, which is cool, and I already have like a background in it. But yeah, so very exciting. Next question, if you could spend most of your time with one singular person, who would it be? This is a really good question, and I don't know if I have the answer to that because I feel like all my friends are so different. Like, I don't have a friend group. I kind of do down here, but I just have different friends like placed across the country, and they're all so different, and I love them for like the differences that they are and have. So spending all my time with one person, can't imagine. One singular person. I mean, this is a stupid answer, but I guess myself. But I already basically spend all my time by myself, so I feel like I don't know how to answer this question. Sorry, Abby. I don't know, girl. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just like one person. Like, I just told you, I don't want to get married forever. Like, what? Why would I want to? Why do I want to spend time with one person? Okay. Final question. This says, I think a lot of people would like to see how you balance training, life, school, etc. Not a question, but an idea. So I guess, how do you schedule your days and responsibilities? Okay, so last semester I had class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursdays and Fridays I had my internship, and then Saturday and Sunday I worked at Cheddar's. Originally I was working Monday nights at Cheddar's, would have the whole week, and then have Saturday and Sunday at Cheddar's. But then towards the end of the semester, I started picking up shifts like close to 5 or 6 times a week. Like, I was working so much. I feel like I would always find like pockets of time here and there. Like, I remember I would wake up at like 8 in the morning on Saturdays sometimes to like do like an hour or two of work before I went to Cheddar's. I found that like just sitting down, setting a timer on my phone for an hour, putting my phone away, like I would get so much done in the 1 hour I would set aside my phone. And I feel like that was really efficient for me. One way that I was able to manage, just like intentionally like carving out time to spend time like just with myself and like recharge and everything. So Mondays afternoons was the only chunk of time that I had to myself. I would either like clean, or I would nap, or I would go on a walk, but I would never do homework during that time because my weekends were just filled with Cheddar's. I needed like some time to do like things that made me happy. Being able to choose and figure out what worked for me each week was helpful. If I made myself sit down and be like, okay, from this time to this time, like let's say Monday afternoons, for instance, when I would like walk and everything, like if I made myself do work during that time, I feel like I wouldn't be as focused just because I knew I needed that time for me. So like, I think just like being real with yourself in the moment and being like, okay, like, can I focus during this time, or like, do I need to like eat, or do I need to like take a step away? On the other hand of that, being like, okay, I don't really feel like doing work at this time, but like I do need to get work done, so like let me just sit down for 5 minutes and like try, and if I still not focused, like then we'll take a break and we'll come back to it another time, but if we are, then like great. So I don't know, I think just like being honest and intentional with myself really helped me to balance everything. So yeah, I don't know if that even answered the question, but sure. But yeah, those were all the questions. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see ya later.